Why are things getting worse? Things should be getting better, shouldn't they? I mean, as time goes on, we should be evolving. This might be controversial for some, not controversial at all for others. I guess it depends on where you stand. My belief is humans are made up of three aspects: the body, the mind, and the soul or spirit. The third one, the spirit, is the one that there's many people out there that'll have an issue with. The body and the mind, we can see it. We use our brain, which most of us refer to as the mind. The body is here. This is the vehicle that we use to traverse the earth. The spirit aspect is the one that a lot of people, either they don't believe we have one at all, or they're not sure, because it is an aspect that has been forgotten. It was done on purpose for us to forget we have that. I was about to say it's the most important aspect of the three, but I don't know if that's true. But I will say this, if you don't feed one of the three, we're going to be in some kind of disconnect. For our body, we have to eat to survive, and if we stop eating, we'll die. If we don't have mental stimulation, what will happen? Maybe we'll go insane. Negative things will happen if we don't get that stimulation. And then the third aspect is a spiritual aspect. It's the part of us that you can't see with our physical eyes. Again, besides the other two, which are clearly there, the third aspect is just not so visible, which is why it is the easiest of the three to overlook. I believe that is why the world is the way it is now. I like to ask this question to people, and I get so many different answers. What is the state of the world, and which way are we headed? I use markers like movies, music, TV shows, the dating habits, our religious beliefs strengthening or are they weakening, the foods that we eat, the list goes on. Some people, I ask this question of whether or not humanity is getting better or worse. Surprisingly, some people have the notion that we're headed in the right direction. Things are getting better. And I have to scratch my head for that one. Now, if I ask that question, the person is not sure, hey, I can accept that, but it's just so clear to me that humanity is not headed in the right direction. We're actually headed in the wrong direction. And it's not only because we have forgotten that spiritual aspect of ourselves, but also at the same time, I believe it's a concerted effort by some of those in power for us not to be connected to our spiritual aspect. Sorry, lost my train of thought here. Let me take off my glasses. I guess one question you can pose is why, if there are people in power, why would they not want us to be connected to the spiritual aspect? Gosh, I want to make this a short video, but this is going to be a long one. There's many reasons. Let's say for those that don't believe that we have a spiritual aspect, let's just for a moment agree that there is a spirit inside of all of us, and that part of us, it needs sustenance just like the other two aspects. And what are some reasons why, if indeed there are those who we call elites, why would they want us disconnected from that spiritual aspect? Let me give you a few reasons why that would be. You will see, if you go back in the past, there were people that were more spiritually connected. You will find those people will be less afraid of death. So whether if that's going into battle, there's instances where the warriors don't really fear death because they believe in a spirit, they believe in an afterlife. So although they know that they're going into a dangerous situation and their body may perish, their soul lives on. That is one aspect of why, if the elites do want us disconnected from the spiritual aspect of ourselves, is the more disconnected you are to your spirit, the more fear you're going to have. And to back that up, I can kind of give you a quick example. Those that are spiritual believe in an afterlife. So although, sure, we might be scared to die, maybe not so much as someone that doesn't believe in an afterlife and doesn't believe in a soul. So to give you an example, an atheist will typically believe there is no afterlife, that once we die, there's nothing. It's just complete blackness, and it's like a plug being pulled out. You're alive 1 second, you're dead the next, and that's it. There's nothing. If I try to put myself in that person's shoes, for me to be alive now and for me to die, and there just be nothing at all after my death, and that's it, I would be scared to die. Absolutely. I would be very scared to die. I have this beautiful surrounding in front of me. I have, so many things I can enjoy in this world and in this life, and it all comes to an end, and that's it. There's nothing else anymore. If you come across an atheist that says that he or she is not afraid of death, maybe in very small instances that's the truth, but I think in most instances that is not the truth. So that's one reason why, if there is a spiritual aspect, one reason why, if there are people in power and they want to retain their power, it's something that they would like us not to know, an aspect of ourselves that they would like to keep hidden. That way they would have, fear equals control. The more fearful a person is or a group of people are, the easier they are to control. You may have heard that before, but I would like you to actually think about that. Think deeply about that. The more fearful someone is, the easier they are to control. It just goes hand in hand. The less fearful someone is, the more brave someone is, the less controllable they are. I think that's a very important fact that we kind of just say and kind of move on, but I'd like to focus some attention on this fact is fear paralyzes us. Fear paralyzes us. You hear about a deer in headlights, it's frozen, it's scared, it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know if it should keep walking or run. It sees headlights coming towards it. It's stuck in fear. So similarly, that's humanity. That's what you get if you get a group of people that are just scared. You get a group of people that are very easy to control. They're scared for their lives. They'll listen to anyone with authority. They'll listen to whatever they tell them. It just reminds me of what kind of went down with COVID. COVID, yeah, that was textbook 101 right there. I mean, if that's not a perfect example, I don't know what is. You have this so-called deadly virus going around that you can't see, smell, touch, taste, hear. Supposedly anyone can have it. And they come out with a savior vaccine that is, as they said, so-called supposed to save your life. And if you take the vaccine, I mean, you're safe from this so-called super deadly virus. I hope I'm not losing any of you by saying this, but now in 2024, is that something that you still hold on to and believe that is what happened? So that spiritual aspect of ourselves is, it's a part of us that is starving, and many of us that's very weak and very almost non-existent. It's there, but that connection hasn't been fed. And again, which is why I believe the earth is the way it is now. It's in chaos. We live in a time where mothers kill their children and children kill their mothers. Mothers and fathers kill their own children. Just recently I saw a news story of a father starving his own child, a little boy, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years old. And not only did he starve his own child, but he would film the child begging for food, which is just another added sickness. I mean, not only are you starving your own child for whatever reason, but you're filming it too. This is the world that we live in. Mothers and fathers killing their own children, and children killing their own mothers and fathers. I hope by hearing this opens your eyes to the reality of the world that we live in. I mean, yes, it's not all bad. I understand that. I love life. I love my life. I love the earth. I love people. I love interacting with people. I love my hobbies. Food is good. I just, there's so many great things about this planet, obviously. But at the same time, humanity is not headed in the right direction. Things are getting worse. Things are definitely getting worse. And the question I'd like to pose is why? Why are things getting worse? Things should be getting better, shouldn't they? I mean, as time goes on, we should be evolving. We should be headed in a better direction. There should be less racial tension. There should be less tension between male and female. There should be less tension between the haves and have-nots. There should be more sharing amongst each other and more understanding and more patience with one another. These are things, when I think of the word evolution, these are things that go hand in hand with evolution, but I'm not saying that these things aren't happening, but I'm saying as a whole, I feel it in myself too. I feel a temper that I didn't necessarily have before, but as a collective, you know, we all rub off on each other. We all affect each other, whether we like it or not. Some people decide just to stay home. They don't even want to go outside anymore. Some people are afraid to go outside. And I just got another thought. Remember about a year or two ago, I would see news stories of people just randomly punching people in the face. Men punching women. Men punching the elderly. Women punching the elderly. For no reason. What? I mean, I can sit here and give you 1,000 reasons of why I believe humanity is not headed in the right direction. Tens of thousands, maybe. This is a heavy subject, I understand. This is something that a lot of people don't even want to talk about, don't even want to hear. They don't even want to think about. I understand it, but it's the reality of where we're at right now. And I think it's very important to talk about. I think it's very important. I think the issue is that we're not talking about this enough. The spiritual aspect of ourselves is not given enough attention. Again, I just can't stress it enough. It's that third aspect that is hungry. It needs to be awakened once again. It needs to be reconnected. And I think I'll leave it at this for today. I don't want to go into ways of how to do that. Maybe in another video I'll do that. But I guess today's video is more of just, I wanted to shed light on that. And if I can just close on this, those two things correlate very perfectly in my eyes. The fact that that spiritual connection has been forgotten and the state of the world that it is in today, those two things together are why things are the way they are. I'll leave it at that, and maybe in another video I'll explain maybe some of the ways to reconnect that spiritual aspect of ourselves. Thank you.